Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of not just the news, but answers that you can use, like an answer to the question, Chris, where are all the TLDRs? I thought you did them daily, hence the LockerGnome Daily Report. Well, 3 of them are over in the podcast channel if you're not one of my patrons, aka the Supernomies, some of which are being displayed behind me. If you want tons of bonuses on a daily basis, all you gotta do is support me, starting at just $2 a month. It's easy to do. Head over to chrispirillo.com for more information. Now, on to the title of this video. The video title is 7 Ways to Tech Out with Captain America. I thought you'd appreciate this. Yesterday, if you're not following LockerGnome on Twitter, we tweeted out a series of relatively awesome things that are Captain America-ish, including a couple of surprises. I kind of get in my head an idea of what Captain America might do if he was all about himself. But Captain America is not. I'm not celebrating Captain America Day or anything like that, but it is Memorial Day, so I do want to take the time to thank those who did put their lives on the line in service for this country. We could not do this without you. Or as I tweeted this morning, happy 38th birthday to Star Wars, and also thank you to those who fought in real wars. We wouldn't have anything without you, so thank you, and just wanted to say all that encapsulated into one statement that came out as best I could make it come out for a Monday morning as I play this out live. Today, since it is Monday, will be an AMA. I'm going to dive into the questions that you asked me on Facebook. This is an open thread that we do every single week, and hopefully you participate and don't say, well, I'm not going to ask you a question because you never answer it. I answer a lot of questions. I really genuinely do. Okay, so you want to know what Captain America, or how you would tech out with Captain America? Glad you asked. This is a Captain America speaker. Now, it's not Bluetooth, but you can connect an external device by way of a cable, and you can start listening right away. See, the nice thing is that you can retweet from the LockerGnome blog post on LockerGnome.com. We'll link it in the video description. So that way, if you like what you see, you can tweet it to all of your followers. And if you want a Captain America flash drive, that exists as well. You can decapitate him and get access to all of your data. Now, maybe you're not much of a headphones kind of person. Maybe you're more of an earbuds kind of person. Well, there are Captain America earbuds. Who wants white earbuds? Quite honestly. Really, who still uses those? It's not in vogue anymore. It's all about the Captain America. This is not Captain America's shield. It is a mouse pad that could not be used as Captain America's shield. Though it looks like Captain America's shield, it's a mouse pad. I have to use a mouse pad here, believe it or not, in my office. Now, I know you're thinking, well, Chris, you haven't needed a mouse pad for years. I kind of do. This is a reflective surface. And I don't want to mar the surface as much as I just want to put a mouse pad there. Now, is this particular mouse pad for me? Not necessarily. I wouldn't say that I'm a huge Captain America fan, but you know what? I found some really awesome Captain America things. So, if your laptop is not decked out with Captain America's shield, this logo right here, it is not patriotic. I'm just going to say that right now. This is Captain America's shield, but it's not just any old shield. This one is the one that surprised me, honestly. This is an external battery pack. It is 6,800 milliamp hour battery pack. So if you want to charge your USB devices, don't just use a regular old charger. Use this. It's Captain America's shield. It's a battery pack. It's a 2-in-1. I thought that was insane. So maybe you don't want to do anything, you don't want to buy any gadgets, but you want to be geeky as you roll. I see plenty of stickers on cars, but I've never seen a Captain America shield sticker logo on a car. You can get that if you want immediately, and there just for another view is that Captain America shield USB battery pack. Maybe that battery pack's not for you. Maybe you want to save money on the battery packs you buy. You can. We've got a couple of discounts for you over on deals.lockergnome.com, as well as the Air Server Mirroring Receiver, 33% off. We also have the NES Video Game Controller Soap 2-pack at 16% off. It's a little Nintendo NES controller. You know, I was going to play Miss Pac-Man over the weekend with what we celebrated Pac-Man's birthday on Friday, was it? And I'll get to that in just a second, or a little into that. And I realized I've got an arcade cabinet here in my office, and I'm missing the cable for it. I went through a big cable purge over the past year in my workshop, getting rid of a lot of old electronics. That cables were strewn everywhere. So I have a feeling I threw the baby out with the bathwater. So currently I cannot play on my arcade, and I think it's a standard cable. It looked like I'd have to draw it out for you because I have no other way of explaining it. It's a female end that, of course, plugs into the wall with a grounded a prong, but the female end's got like I think it's 2 or 3 like vertical slits in it, and that plugs into the back. You've seen this cable before, I guarantee it. But I need to get another one, I guess. I suck. Really, I threw away the cable somehow for my arcade. I don't know how I did that. I really don't. I thought the cable went nowhere. It went somewhere to my arcade. We also have the Pick Your Own Apple Toy giveaway. Oh, now speaking of, before I get to the Pac-Man thing, Apple Toys. There are Android toys as well, as a matter of fact, if you follow LockerGnome on Twitter today, or you watch for LockerGnome.com blog post tomorrow, I'll be sharing that as well. I'm finding, or I believe I found the top 7 Android figures ever, including the first one that I tweeted out this morning from the LockerGnome account. It's got a little Android inside an Android. Like, yo, dog, we heard you liked Android, so we put an Android inside your Android. I mean, it was a meme, kind of. But it was kind of cool. It was unique. I'd never seen that figure before. I'm like, dude, that is totally awesome. If you want Android, I mean, that, to me, that is Android collectibles. There's like 4 series and beyond of these Android figurines. Collect them all. Trade them with your friends. That's what we used to have to do it. We used to have trade stuff. To get the stuff that we wanted, we had to trade stuff back in the day. I know I've been promising Pac-Man in the AMA, but first, let me go ahead and pull up our Force Friday countdown. These are 3 Luke Skywalkers, 1 from A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And you can see here on this Luke Skywalker, the Jedi garb, his nose turned black, and I think every one of these Luke Skywalkers that was opened had their nose blackened. I don't know why. It was a manufacturing defect, so it's really weird. That happened to our Jedi Lukes as well. So on this day, Star Wars and Return of the Jedi both opened today. So happy birthday to both of them. May 25th, which is a Monday, happens to be Memorial Day. Okay, the Pac-Man thing I promised, and then the AMA. I know, because it all ties together. It makes sense. Just give me a bit. Give me a second. Let me go back here. I gotta flip over to my web browser again and browse the Pac-Man awesomeness. We found 7 perfect Pac-Man Day playthings. Now, these are perfect not just on Pac-Man Day, but, of course, any day of the week. Pac-Man cookie cutters. Epic. Or even you could use them for, I suppose, anything that you wanted to cut out. Bread. Maybe you can make ghost sandwiches or Pac-Man sandwiches. 2 in 1 there. Chomp, 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 chomp. At the end of the day, you need a pint of beer or something. Put it in a Pac-Man power pellet and ghost pint glass. And there's also, in case you wanted to play Pac-Man on your TV, there's the plug and play, store and display Pac-Man video game. Connect it to your TV and start playing right away. And it now has the bonus level 256. Now, speaking of, I just found out over the weekend, they're rebooting, I guess to a certain degree, Pac-Man. It's going to be called, I think, Pac-Man 256? 256 is in the title, because that was the glitch. You couldn't get to that past that point because there was a glitch. So, Namco, Bandai, is basically working with Hipster Whale. They're the people who created Crossy Road, and they're making a new Pac-Man game called Pac-Man 256? I want to say that's what it's titled. But it's got the glitch in the game. So the people who brought you Crossy Road and Pac-Man are working together. That video game is going to be coming to all sorts of platforms sooner rather than later. Even though I'm not much of one of those Wii Amiibo collectors, they do have a Pac-Man Wii Amiibo, and I thought about this. It's kind of neat. This would be closer to my fandom. I don't really play, the Wii. Haven't played Nintendo stuff in quite a while if it hasn't been on the arcade or on iOS. There's also a Pac-Man belt buckle, pretty popular with the kids. Pac-Man and Ghost Racers. These are actually remote-controlled toys. You can play Pac-Man. Now, you don't have a huge range, but, it's kind of fun for, 5 minutes. And if you have a kid, or you are a kid at heart, you can play with that. If you want to hear Pac-Man sounds, grab this fuzzy Pac-Man, and you can play Pac-Man sounds. No, job? Is it job, or waka, job? Doesn't matter. Just play Pac-Man. The Pac-Man heat-changing mug was a popular item as well. Shared that on Facebook and got tons of shares. So, if you do not have an awesome mug, you have no excuse now. There is the awesome mug. We'll be sure to put the links for you in this video's description. Now, on to the AMA. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's see what questions y'all have been asking this week. George Simopoulos asks, where are you from? I am from my mother's womb directly, and, I'm not trying to get back there at all. Some people spend their life trying to return to the womb. I'm not that kind of person, but I am from my mother's womb. Now, some people, and the rumor has it, and you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but some people were not from their mother's womb. They were from an egg, hatched from an egg. I guess, technically speaking, I was from an egg as well. But I'm saying they hatched from an egg. I didn't hatch from an egg. I hatched from a womb. Samarat the King Dasks asks, I'm not kidding, Toka Daye K and Adao Ku Daye Toke Boka Choda are Batkara. I'm not kidding, folks. I'm telling you, look. That's what he asked. I can't even translate that. Is that even a language? Andrew Casabaum asks, are you planning on watching the new Adam Sandler movie, Pixels? Yes, I'd like to see it. Probably not in theaters. I am a huge fan of Pixel stuff. In fact, if you've been watching on social, I don't have easy access right now. I'm thinking about spinning up an ongoing series of pixel art t-shirts, and these would be like you could buy them on demand, limited time, and one of the first ones we're going to do is a coffee cup with steam coming out of it. People liked it, the red mug, and I think we're going to do it like on a cream-colored shirt, not white, but kind of a cream and neutral kind of color. It should play well, I think. And, if luck grows and goes, then I would like to do a pixel art t-shirt every week, a different pixel art. And then if that works out well, eventually do a new pixel art t-shirt that you could get every single day if you want. I'm a huge fan of pixel art. Always have been, always will be. There's something about it. Always loved ASCII art as well. Would love to see that stuff on shirts. Would love to wear that instead of the stuff that I wear. You get used to seeing the same shirts over and over again. This is my shirt that I got from Wish I Was Here, the movie that I backed with Zach Braff. He even sent me a little video talking to me directly. That was the pledge level that I got for the movie. That was pretty cool. I back content all the time. So I'll probably rent Pixels. Probably will not see it in the theater. Rigoberto Chavez Garcia asks, if you can take away something from your life, what would it be? Take something away from my life? Oh, remove something. I'm thinking like when I die, taking something. If I could remove something from my life, stress. Is that fair? Like the stress of a constantly changing industry that I have to constantly adapt to. I feel that, I'm prolific in terms of how I publish. I talk about stuff. This is what I love to do. But I have to constantly change to adapt to the times. So, for example, we've got this YouTube channel, youtube.com/LockerGnome. We've got the SoundCloud channel where you can subscribe to the podcast. But I've been thinking about doing separate podcasts as well. I've been thinking about carving out my Star Wars videos and doing them in a completely different channel, a Star Wars dedicated channel. I've really thought about that. And it's not that anybody in my community wouldn't care about it. It's just that YouTube categorizes on topic, rarely anything else. So I know it's difficult sometimes to manage, to focus on something, but when you are focused on you, that's the problem. I am the product right now. I talked about wanting to do t-shirts because that's not me. I love it, but I'm not the product. The t-shirt's the product. I love wearing the t-shirts, but I'm not the product anymore. And I want to get past that part where I am the product. So it's very time intensive, very, very stressful. So if there's one thing I could take away, it's that. But you need to have something that that you've got on the other side. I mean, I can't just stop being the product. I mean, imagine if I stopped doing TLDR, which I'm not going to do because of the patrons. The patrons are the only people in the irregular sponsors that we get that kind of keep TLDR going. No doubt in my mind. I mean, I've said this over and over again. I'm very grateful that people do take the time to pledge and are truthful about that. And I plan on launching other content, crowdfunded projects, but even then I've got to carve it up because there are certain people who only want certain things from me. So I wish I knew a better way of doing all this, and I don't. No one does. No one has the answer. The answer is focus. But when you are the product and you are focused on yourself and you have so many things that you're interested in, it's very difficult to go beyond that. So yeah, that's the one thing I would remove from life is the stress of not knowing. I would love to know. I would love to have a better grasp on things. See here. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Adam Bottinger asks, why are you not in bed? Sorry, I was reading a question that Diana was answering. Diana answered that question, Bonnie. Thank you, Diana. Why am I not in bed? I am not in bed because I am awake. Actually, sometimes, well, like this morning, I woke up at about 3 and was up for like 2 hours. I had insomnia. I've got a lot of stresses. I was talking about that. So I am not in bed because I'm doing things. And sometimes when I am in bed, I'm thinking about things. When I'm not doing, I'm thinking. Trying to sleep. John Paul asks, here's one. Will you give anything for 5 million YouTube subscribers? Would I? Sure, I suppose. I could. Robert Lemons, I just recently started watching Doctor Who. Knew nothing about the series. Started with season 1 of the newer with Rose. I love those two together, and I admit I teared when the Doctor just changed for me in season 5. Just starts 5. How did it make you feel, Chris? What's your take on it? Robert, I kind of talked about this in the How to Start with Doctor Who video that I'm confident nobody watched, other than the 1,000 views that we got for it in this channel. Tennant's my Doctor. I'm a fan of Tennant as the Doctor. It's been difficult for me to move on to Smith and Capaldi. I've accepted them as the Doctor, and then very briefly the War Doctor. Eccleston was good as the Doctor, but Tennant, that was it for me. It's not jarring, but you come to expect it, and it's kind of nice sometimes because you get a different personality and you never know what to expect. But then again, I've been waiting for someone to be as good as Tennant, if not better, as the Doctor, and playing that character. I mean, to me, that was the Doctor. And people who watched the classic series or seasons or episodes way back in the day, would probably say that one of them was their Doctor. And Tennant, to me, was the Doctor. Now, speaking of Doctor Who trivia, I talked about this, I think, on Friday. This is Bosk. He is a character from The Empire Strikes Back. He also shows up in Jabba's Palace in Return of the Jedi. This is a 6-inch figure from DorksideToys.com. I've not yet had a chance to open it. You've given me an in. You have. Thank you for asking about Doctor Who, because this uniform here also showed up in the cantina. Not Bosk, but the uniform itself. This was from Doctor Who, the classic series of Doctor Who, or seasons, whatever the terminology is for the classic Doctor Who. Did you know that? The uniform of Bosk showed up in Doctor Who. That's just a little trivia that once you learn, you're like, what? That's epic. It's awesome. Marcus Peterson. Oh, I'm sorry, Person. Did not mean to mispronounce your name. What are your plans for the future? I plan on continuing to seek happiness and, living life the best I can every single day that I can live life. Let's see here. Michael Dowis asked, just wanted to thank you for answering my question last time. Not a problem. I presented your response to my boss at work, and she went on deals.lockergnome.com and purchased one of the app courses. Look like we'll be learning an app, so thanks again. Not a problem. Wow, that's amazing. That's pretty cool. Mike K asked, what was your reaction to the latest Star Wars trailer at the very end? I love watching the fan reaction videos. I did a video, but I wasn't able to record my initial watching of that trailer. The new one, or the teaser, not even a trailer, because I was at Star Wars Celebration. So I recorded my response after it had played out, and I think that was in a separate video in this channel. It's difficult to say. That would have been something that if it was Star Wars related, dedicated, it would have gone into the Star Wars channel if I had one yet. I got to come up with a name. I thought about Star Scores, because I can't say Star Wars. I don't own the copyright. I don't own that, so I can't use that necessarily in the title. But I did. I remember recording my initial response or reaction to the first one that came out, the very first one for The Force Awakens, and that was it. That was absolutely in a vlog. I guarantee that was in a vlog. I remember I teared up at that one. I teared up the second one too, but it was difficult to capture my reaction because I was in the room of tens of thousands of people at Star Wars Celebration. Matthew Huang asks, in the future, if and when you and Jedi get into arguments, we will you film that in your vlogs or leave it out? It depends. If it's kind of a cute argument, I think, yes, we'll keep it. But, if it's something that just doesn't show her good side in that sense, I'm just not inclined to share it. There are certain moments that, we'll be recording something and she'll be fussy for one reason or another, and there's no reason to keep that, and Jedi gets fussy. She is a baby. But for the most part, I think her disposition is relatively good, relatively positive, and upbeat. I mean, she's a very happy baby, no doubt about that. But she does have her moments. She does have her days, for, whatever reason. So, we get into arguments. It just depends. If it's playful, I'll keep it. But if it's something that just shows her not at her good side, or if there's no humor in it, I don't know if I'm inclined to keep it. That's just my feeling. The next question is Enrique Eric Hernandez. Do you own a 4K TV? I have not. In fact, I think I've responded to this question recently. And if you do, would you be buying 4K Blu-ray discs later this year? I don't, and would probably have no plans, unless they came bundled with a Lego minifigure. Those are really the only Blu-ray discs that I want to buy. I mean, unless, of course, you're talking about Star Wars. Everybody needs something, man. Although, I have to, this is the kind of a late, everybody gets a bonus here. I thought about doing this as a separate video, but I guess this is as good a time as any. I had another gift card to use at the Lego store this weekend. So I got the Marvel Superhero Avengers. This is Iron Man versus Ultron. I did not have this one. So very happy to have this one, if only because it comes with 4 minifigures. This is epic, which I thought it only came with 3, but I guess on the back it's showing it comes with 4. Wow. Okay, that's cool. Nice. And that Iron Man is a super jumper. That's epic. I love that. Speaking of, I better remind everybody, because I wanted to say this at the top, but I guess I accidentally I missed it. Last week's LockerGnome challenge. This is the hashtag LockerGnome challenge. Last week was Troopin with the Trooper. If you want to get your photo from Instagram or Twitter or Facebook embedded on a blog post, last week you had to take a picture of a stormtrooper trooping around. There's one, I love this guy, Man versus Pink. He's a guy like me, a father who hates pink, and he's raising a daughter as well. He took a couple of pictures. This one came in from Giverixtel. This one was from Adrian Bacon. It was a snow trooper. Adam S. Toms, Adam S. Toms, I'm going with. I love this one. Look at that. There's a bunny down the hall, and the trooper's kind of peeking around the corner. This, if I had to give an award for most creative one last week, it would go to Adam, no doubt about it. Man versus Pink had another one. There's a trooper kind of pooping over a pot. Love that humor. And then Joe Tashi, at the last minute, he says, is it still time? Is there still time? Yes. He's got a trooper in the woods. Now, this week's theme for the hashtag LockerGnome challenge is superhero. I think it's going to be titled, There Goes My Hero. I haven't started it yet, but I will be taking a picture at some point today. This reminded me. I'm very glad I pulled this out. Use the hashtag LockerGnome. Use a picture of any superhero toy that you want doing something. Your hero. But my suggestion is do something like what Adam Toms did. He's very creative with this toy. I love that kind of photo. I also got... been waiting for this one. The Green Lantern versus Sinestro. It comes with 2 or 3 minifigures, including a Batman, which I didn't have on a Super Jumper. I also did not have Sinestro or Green Lantern, which was awesome. I didn't mind the movie as much as other people did. This is another one that I really, really totally wanted to get for a long time. Well, at least since they released it, because I'd yet to have Benny, this Ghost Vitruvius, or the Unikitty. I didn't have a Unikitty until now, so I was very happy to get that, and of course Emmett and the president. So there we go, from the Lego movie. The couch, the double-decker couch that Emmett built. This is also another set that, is like, I didn't have this one. It's got, Wild Style, and I didn't have her with that particular hood. I already had the Emmett with the piece of resistance, though. This one, also from the Lego movie, I wanted, if only for that particular Unikitty. So there's a stack of Lego bricks. Why did I exchange a gift card this weekend? So I could get this exclusive Spider-Man super jumper. So you can put him on a thing and then he jumps. Not that I want jumping spiders in my life, because I do not. So if there are any spiders watching, please do not jump around here. I will kill you. That's just a warning to all the spiders. I'm not really a fan of those, spider crawly, creepy things. Next question. If video and photos were the only way to communicate online, do you think it would be a better way for people than texting? Luke, I'm actually going to be speaking to this topic in a Q&A, a separate video for the patrons, talking about emoji and why I believe it is as popular as it is. If video and photos were the only way to communicate online, I think people would be very effective at it. I really do. If a video, in many ways, if a photo is worth 1,000 words, is that the saying? I think a video is worth 1,000,000. Most people, of course, just because you can shoot a video doesn't mean you should. Then again, I'd say the same thing about a lot of people who take pictures. They're just because you have a camera doesn't mean you really know how to use it. I mean, yeah, you can use it, but are you producing anything that's telling a story? Are you relating what it is that you want to share? Is there something that you're happy or proud about or love, or do you just want to capture that moment? So I think it would be a very effective way of communicating online. Probably better than texting. Yeah, there are many times that I know that I'm going to be able to speak through something more effectively and send a voice memo than typing it out, if only because you lose intonation, you lose some amount of meaning if you don't know how to write well, or if the other person doesn't pick up on a lot of those nonverbal cues that, when you speak through a particular topic, I think can potentially address the question. There are, so many great ways of communicating. Writing's not the only one, but yeah, I think Luke, it could easily get better than texting. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that killed texting altogether. Snapchat's done a pretty good job at it. It hasn't killed it, but you don't need to send text, send a photo, send a video. I think people want to do it anyway. Eileen Simers asks, Sandboxy, do you use it or recommend it? Sandboxy, is that where you can run Internet Explorer in a separate process on any OS or on the web? Sandboxy? I don't know anything about that. Hang on. I'm going to do a little... Can I do it? No, I guess I can't. Okay. I was trying to highlight a single word on the Facebook thread, but I can't do it. A little shortcut I learned to Google a word on OS 10 or in Safari. Or I guess... Not just in Safari. Safari or any app on iOS. Highlight the word that you don't know. You can potentially define it. Now, if it doesn't have a definition of it, what you can do is search the web for that word. So that's what I do. I highlight the word. I know there's no definition for it, and then it's an easy way to... You don't even have to copy and paste. You highlight it, press define, search web from the definition page. Chris Groover asks, where is Carmen Sandiego? I've never watched the show. Diane Rivera asks, I know you're not a gamer, but would you be buying a Lego Dimension starter set just for the minifigures? Potentially, if I wanted the minifigures, yes. Absolutely. If I didn't have to buy the starter sets, I'd be happier. I can't... I mean, if it's already one that I have, I'm not inclined to kind of go for it. But I'm looking forward to the Wizard of Oz. For quite some time, I've been looking forward to that. It was one of the Lego ideas, I think, back when it was called Kusu. And I've always, wanted something like that. But, if I have to get the Lego Dimension set because the individuals aren't available at a competitive price, then I guess that's what you have to do. Tony Yoon asks, question number 54, have you done a Polaroid Cube review? If so, could you please post a link, as I've tried to search and nothing showed? I'd not. It's going to be a part of a geek haul. I have no plans on reviewing it because... honestly, I don't know how many people are necessarily interested in it. I mean, it looks nice and everything. I just don't really have a place for it right now. And I just feel like I would give it a better review if I had a place for it or a use case for it. And if I knew that taking the time to do a review would actually be worth doing a review. I think that its biggest value is not just Polaroid the brand, but specifically how they designed the Polaroid Cube outright. His question 55 was about, I've never seen you pet the dogs. They seem lonely. Well, no, they get pet. I pet them all the time. I'm just not vlogging every time I pet them. Because quite honestly, I mean, unless I'm talking to them or doing something, it would just be me petting the dogs. And I don't know if that's really compelling footage. In my estimation. I tell you what, Tony, I will pet the dogs in the vlog just for you. So, next, and we're almost out of time and out of questions, so I guess that was just perfect. So, Uthman Baksh asks, favorite Nicktoons? I don't really have any favorites these days, I haven't gotten into any kind of new cartoon series in quite some time, and I think Jedi might very well change that. I might get into something because of her, and she gets into something, then I'll get into it vicariously. It doesn't mean that she likes something, I'm going to like something, or if I like something, she's going to like something. The only cartoon that I think I've gotten into, of course, is Star Wars Rebels. Finished Daredevil over the weekend. Not a cartoon, obviously. Definitely not a Nicktoon. But, honestly, the compelling reason for me is just, seeing how cartoons have evolved and changed. I watched a sitcom the other day. Horrible. It was a horrible sitcom. For me, the pinnacle of sitcoms, Frasier. That's my show. And in fact, Liz asks, I know you like shows like Frasier. Couldn't imagine doing a reboot of the show, but what shows would you love to see make a comeback? I don't know. I'd hesitate to say any of them because there's something that's lost. The magic's lost if it was a good show. there's, shows that I remember that, may be ripe for a reboot. What was this? What was the one where Vicky was the robot? It was a kid. Short Circuit? No, that was a movie. That would be pretty cool as a reboot. Hazen Grass asks, thoughts on phone docks? I don't really have phone docks at all. Not really something that I really want, if only because it's easy enough to plug in a cable. I'm a big fan of keeping things flat, if I can at all help it. You find a dock that fits what you want. And every phone dock I've seen has been workable. One phone dock destroyed my Nexus 4. You watched that video, and I think it was a Pirillo Pix. And then, I'd keep one here, but inevitably it's just more potential clutter that's laying around. I'm like, just plug it in. I don't need to always keep my phone charged. So when I do need to keep my phone charged, I usually pull out either a Tizzy Flip cable or, one of these from Nomad, because it's just simple. It's a simple cable, so I don't need a dock. I just need this because I don't need to be staring at my phone. So there is another question that came out, and this is from Stuart. He said, you said Photoshop it in the Hangout tonight. Why does Chris think that it has become the default word for photo editing like Google for web searches? And how has it become so dominant in the market for that type of application? Does he think anything will surpass it? Stuart. No, I think we just get that word in, that brand in mind, like Kleenex. That's a brand. It's not necessarily the tissue paper that you're talking about. Jello for gelatin. Big brands. And I think Photoshop's become synonymous with photo editing. I don't see anything changing that anytime soon, any more than I would expect. Even if Google were to be outplayed by somebody else, the idea of search is still very relevant, but I think to Google it just means you're searching for it. It's just a shortcut. It just becomes a part of the vernacular, and once it's ingrained in pop culture, it's very, very difficult to reverse it. So, companies have tried. I remember back in the day, you can Bing it. You're Googling on Bing. You can Google something on Bing. Hate to tell you that. And then Steve Ballmer, I remember back when the Zune was a thing, he'd say, you can just squirt it to a friend. And it just sounded wrong. Squirt? It sounds so inorganic. And there's something about Photoshop that, Photoshop it, because it was the photo editing tool. It was the tool. Photoshop it. It's generic. And I don't know how Adobe feels about that. They probably would be upset if you use the term as a general term, just like Google gets upset if you use the term to Google it, because it removes the value of their trademark when it becomes a common phrase, when it becomes a common term. So I don't really see anything replacing it anytime soon. So, no, thank you for asking all these questions. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time with me. There is a discussion of whether or not I'm going to be doing my Apple Watch review live today or at some point over the next couple of days. We'll be discussing it in the Hangout now. I do a daily Hangout with all of my patrons. You're welcome to join us. It's just another bonus you get starting at just $2 a month by supporting the things that we're doing for you. Thanks again for your time, attention, care, and everything that you do so that we can continue to do the things we do for you. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.